180 degrees rule. 180 degrees rule applies to where the camera is standing according to the characters when, for example, we have a dialogue. Let's see a current situation. If we have two characters talking or engaging with each other, there is an invisible line of action that is going exactly in the middle of the characters. 180 degrees rule says that the camera can be on any side, on any point of this red line or on this one side of the line pointing at the character. And why is this important? Let's see a current situation. If one character is talking and we have the camera on the 180 degrees side of the line of action, as long as we follow the 180 degrees rule, we can zoom in and out of the character as much as we want. We can frame the character either as a close-up, as a middle shot, or as a whole shot. Then it looks like one character is talking to another. But what happens if we cross the 180 degree line? Then both of the characters will be on the same side of the screen and they'll be turned in the same direction. There will not be a dialogue between them, but it will look like they are talking towards something else or someone else which is not in the scene. So 180 degrees rule is basically for orientation on the screen and for clarification of who is talking to whom and how the characters are positioned. Now, can we break the 180 degrees rule, and how? Yes, of course we can do that. We don't need to have the camera standing on that position or on that side all the time through the film. That will be boring. There is some certain rules that can break the 180 degrees rule. One thing is to position the camera exactly on the line and have the character looking from the POV, point of view. When we have the camera exactly on the line, the next time we show the characters, we can have the camera being on the other side of the line. And now we have a new line of action, a new 180 degrees line, which is on the other side of the character. So we can't jump back and forth between one and the other. We can't go 360 degrees, or we will get our viewers very confused of what is happening on the screen. Another way to change the line of action or to change the position of the camera is if we have one of the characters or both moving. So if the character moves, they basically change the line of action and the 180 degrees line between them. Now we can position the camera in a different place, but we still have to keep the 180 degrees rule of the camera. Another way to break the 180 degrees rule is to have a pivoting of something. Something, for example, that the character is looking at. Let's take an example as the character is pointing at something further away in the distance on the other side of where the camera has been so far. Like, for example, at the mountain. Like the character is saying, look, there is a dragon over there. At that point, we are changing the position of the camera, breaking the dialogue between these two to see what he's pointing at. And then, when we go back, we can see the character from the other side of the line and break the 180 degree rule. And now we have a new position of the camera from the other side. So now you're allowed again to change the position of the camera on the other side. Now, 180 degrees rule apply also when the character is in motion. Let's say that the character is running in one direction. The next time we see the character, we need to have the character running from left to right again, so that we know that the character is running in the same direction. So, for example, if we have an action scene and the character is running through different backgrounds, for example, he's running in the field and then she's running through the woods, we need to see her running in the same direction, in this case from left to right. What happens if we break the 180 degrees rule here? Like, for example, in this case. So if we have one scene where the character starts running from left to right, and in the next scene we change the camera and we cross the 180 degrees, she will be running from right to left instead. So she's basically switched direction without we giving any reason that she's done that, and that will make our viewers very confused. Now, how can we change the direction of the character? One thing to do is, for example, if the character stops and changes direction on the screen. So now we have our character Ingrid here who stops, looks at something and changes direction directly on the same shot. Now we can have the camera on the other side because now she is running in a different direction. So we have justified the movement from right to left for this character. So this one can be a little complicated, but it is as simple as that. Just have this in mind when you draw your storyboards.